Ladies and gentlemen, over the off-season, I'm going to be grading every AFL team season. But before the finals kicks off in a week or so, I'm going to be grading every team so far. At the end of the home and away season, based off expectations, how did they go? Now we're going to be doing this in alphabetical order, starting off with the Adelaide Crows. I'm giving them a big fat F. Now they've had injury problems, but so have many other fucking teams. So isn't it an excuse to go from basically should have made finals last year, we all know, with the Sydney game, the incorrect decision. A young team who was, for most AFL pundits and media and everyone I talked to, in the top 8. And they dropped down from 9th, I believe, all the way to 4th last. It's been a tumultuous season for them, and it just has to be an F. There's no other debate about this. They've really struggled to defend. In fact, points against, I believe, they've just struggled entirely. And not only did they finish 4th last, they were 10 points behind 5th last Melbourne. So it's been an awful season for them. 8 wins, 14 losses and a draw. It's not good enough. For the Brisbane Lions, I've given Brisbane, right now, they're in 5th place. So this video is about the home and away season, by the way. So where they've finished. So Brisbane could still win the flag and they're arguably one of the favourites, and therefore it's an A+. But right now you'd have to say not making top 4, missing out on that second chance, a bit more jeopardy behind that position. They've got Carlton as well, who are a wild card if they get their key forwards back in the finals. I think for Brisbane, it has to be a C. It's a mid-season. Like, they've done really well, and I feel like you could argue they deserve like an A because they're in so much great form. But the reality is Carlton are a dangerous team and they could well go out in the first round of finals. They don't get that second chance, and that's just for me. For Carlton, look, the injuries fucked them towards the end of the season, but like I said, injuries happen to every team. To Richmond, they've had it the worst, but Carlton have had it really bad as well. So I do keep it into context, into account, but you just have to say, unfortunately, given the 8th place finish and the nature of the season when they were top 2 for so long, I think it's been a season that can be classed with a E+. I think an E+ is fair. I think they have 0 chance against Brisbane, and they shouldn't have made the 8. I don't know how Fremantle lost that game against Port Adelaide at the end, but A+, finishing from prelims to 8th place is just a horrible season for them. Is a D? You know what? No, A+. They've got a great squad. They can't be finishing in A. Actually, no, the injuries, D. Sorry, let's give them a D because the injuries. Actually, no, fuck it, A+. Fuck you, A+. Collingwood now, from grand final winners to 9th place, it has to be an F. It just is an F. You miss out on finals the year after winning the flag. It is, it's poor. And an F is suited for them. 9th place, equal on points with Carlton, but percentage quite a little bit lower. Literally, shocking season for them. And even though they had a lot of injuries as well, it's not an excuse because a lot of these teams do as well. Essendon, look, I believe the 2023 AFL ladder, I feel like Essendon finished the exact same place, if I'm correct. Essendon finished on 44 points. Sorry, Essendon finished in 11th on 44. So they've actually improved off last season, but they're still in 11th. They've got an extra 2 points, so an extra draw. I think the end of the season really, really stings for them. So let's give Essendon, I've written down here a D, because they haven't improved, and I think halfway through the season we thought guaranteed for finals. I think a D is fair, just a little bit better than the Carlton, and stuff. For Fremantle, I've given their season, as a whole, I've given their season a B. They've gone from 14th last season to 10th, up 4 places, and not many people said, this sort of is a mix of how they've done this season based off injuries, expectation, my expectation, the world's expectation. My expectation was they were going to drop further down the ladder. The world didn't think they would do this well. Look, they should have made finals, so that's why I don't want to put them like an A+, but a B is because you've finished 1 win outside the 8. In fact, you've finished 2 points outside the 8 because they have a better percentage than Carlton. I think that's pretty fair. If you think about Fremantle, I think that's fair. Geelong now, I think Geelong last season was not tumultuous, but they finished in 12th, but they really struggled. This season, I think they've done a lot better. They're in 3rd place. They've got they've got a second chance, not a home final. I think for Geelong, I think they get an A. I think they've had an outstanding season so far. A+ would be 1st or 2nd, but I think A is completely fair for them. Gold Coast now, Gold Coast get a D+. Now, I actually thought Gold Coast would finish in the bottom 5, or bottom 4, bottom 5, and they finished 13th, but the reality is everyone had them near the finals or in the finals. And I was one of the few that said, no. Gold Coast aren't that team yet. They will be soon, but not yet. And lo and behold, I was right. And that's why I'm giving them a D+. because according to my expectations, it's probably a C+, but the world it's probably an E. They couldn't win a home game for the life of them. Oh, sorry, they couldn't win an away game for the life of them. And a D+, I think, is fair, just below a C. The Giants now, they're in 4th spot. They made finals, prelims last year. I think they've improved. Last season and the home away season, they got 52 points. This season, they've got 60 points. And for that reason, I'm giving right now the Giants, who I think can win the flag, although the 4th place Hoodoo was there, I think the Giants get an A. I think they've done really well. Don't know why my voice went like that. I think they get an A. They've done great. And let's give them that because they're in the top 4. They've got a second chance. And their finals game is some of the best. Hawthorn now, the season gets an A+. I mean, I was also one of the few people that was bullish about Hawthorn. Now, they finished in 7th. I thought they would finish in 10th. My preseason predictions were Hawthorn in 10th place. I thought they would get close to the finals. They'd be in and out the 8, but the reality is, given the youth of them, they won't do it. But they did, and they've done it with flying colours. With a percentage of 118.5, only 3 teams have a better percentage than them. They're outstanding to watch. They're fun. 14 wins, 9 losses, and just an outstanding fucking football team. A+ every day of the week. Melbourne, now, before I did put A+, but with the Petrarca news and the Oliver and the Cozzy Pickett and some of the outings, Neil Bullen, it has to be an F. It has to be a fail of a season. It's a monumental to finish last season in 4th place at the end of the home and away season to this season finishing all the way down in 5th last, 14th place with a percentage of 98.5. It's just not good. It's not good for them, and yeah, it's just been a fail for Melbourne, a big, fat, stinky fail. North Melbourne get an E+. Now, I didn't give them an F because they didn't finish dead last, but their percentage is the worst in the comp at 63.5. To give you a bit of context, last season their percentage was 71.5, and they actually won the same amount of games. So they've regressed from last season, even though they finished the same position with a lower percentage on the same wins. So they've strictly regressed. And I just think, I didn't give them an F because they didn't finish dead last. So I think naturally you had to give them an E+ or an E. Actually, E. Yeah, E. Why did I give them an A+? E. Port Adelaide, it's been an A+ season. I did not predict them to do this well. I had them like 6th, I believe. 6th or 7th. I thought they'd make the finals, but you know, given the youth, they wouldn't make top 4, and they've proven me wrong. They finished 2nd. Richmond, I'm giving Richmond an E. Yes, we finished dead last, but we had a better percentage than North Melbourne, and we had the most injuries in the comp by a country mile. Context, right? Like, it really should be an F, but I think it's an E. I think we could really have worse seasons. And look, I'm gonna be releasing a full video analysing and evaluating Richmond's season in entirety because I'm a Richmond fan. But let's give them an E for now, even though you and I both know that probably shouldn't happen. St Kilda get a D. I've given them a D. It was an F for so long, and to go from last season finishing in 6th place on 52 points, this season on 44, they've only lost the 2 games compared to last season. So they're 2 wins away from last season's tally, and I think D's fair. They didn't make the 8, but they were 2 wins away from the 8. They were super close to Essendon's 11th, so they're mid-table club. It's a D, another bad season still, but if you gave them an E, I wouldn't blame you. The Swans, right now, it's an A+. I actually think the Swans are like 5th favourite for me for the flag. I would rather the Giants, let's take that back. 3rd favourites. I'd rather the Giants than Brisbane, and yeah, I think they're 3rd favourites actually in hindsight. But right now, first at the end of the home and away season, I should say, A+. They've been great. The Dogs, sorry, not the Dogs. We'll go the Eagles first. The Eagles, geez, this is interesting. Last season they finished equal dead last on 12 points with a percentage of 53. So really bad percentage. This season they've finished on 20 points with a percentage of 68.1. They've won 2 extra games and improved their percentage. And I think they've given their fans something to cheer for. I am actually going to be giving the Eagles, and I've written down here, I've given them a B. Let's give them a B. I did say B+ originally, but B. Because they're still 3rd last, but I had them dead last. They haven't finished dead last. They're still a long way away from the teams above them. From Melbourne, who are in 5th last, West Coast in 3rd last. They're 24 points, they're 6 wins away from them, which is monumental. So they're still really far away, but I think the fact they've improved and they've got something to cheer for, I think it's a B. And finally, the Western Bulldogs. Last season they finished in 9th place, just missing out on the finals. This season they finished in 6th place with a home final. I think it's been an up and down season, but the latter end of the season has been much better than the front end of the season. For the Dogs, I'm in 2 minds here. I'm gonna give them a B+. I think they deserve a B+. a pretty good season, but playing Hawthorn in the finals right now, probably the last team you want to play because their form is crazy. But they could easily win because the Dogs are also in really good form. Yeah, that's every AFL team's grade at the end of the home and away season. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, all the good stuff, all the TikTok FTFooty. And I'll be seeing you in another video.